reception is Hawkinson. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. To the end zone, DeAndre Swift.
Touchdown, Vikings. It's Justin Jefferson. And he's alone. Dalvin Cook has hit the trifecta.
Aaron Jones, the touchdown maker. And there is your dagger.
Green Bay with the number 1 seed in the NFC.
We are so excited to have Stacey Dales with us for the entire show to wrap up a week. She, of course, lives and breathes the NFC North, all 32 teams, but especially those in and out. You are so close and have your finger on the pulse of everything going on there. So it is time for something we are calling Tales from Dales. And we start in Chicago with the Bears. Very exciting, of course. They say Andy Dalton's a QB1. Matt Nagy even saying that this week that he will take first-team reps in Chicago over the rookie Justin Fields. How are Bears fans feeling about that quarterback situation there in Chicago?
I mean, you guys know it. They're clamoring for Justin Fields. I loved what Schrag said yesterday on the show, and he talked about maybe the biggest decision in football falls upon and hinges upon head coach Matt Nagy, right, Schrags? I mean, when you think about how do you have a plan for this guy? Why do you not implement him right away? He was success multiplied by 10 at Ohio State at the college level. And the plan is in place. So we keep hearing about the plan. I had a great conversation actually with our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner, you guys this week. And he and I kind of threw back some ideas. And really this comes down to, and I don't have a problem with it. So I'm going to say calm down, Bears fans, because the plan is in place for protection. And I'm not just talking about literal protection. You might be starting Tevin Jenkins at left side or the right side, Sean, of this offensive line. And I'm excited about that. But protection to protect the player. You know, where is his headspace to start the season? Protection for the big scheme of the team. Really, and understanding Andy Dalton is the veteran quarterback, you don't want to go backwards. And when I say you don't want to go backwards, if you make that mistake, and Kurt really pointed this out to me, if you make the mistake of starting the young guy first and it doesn't necessarily work out the way you envisioned with the expectations, now you've got to go backwards to the 10-year vet in Andy Dalton. So you protect the coaching staff a little bit too. So for me, the plan is in place. What do they need to see from this young man early as we get going in this offseason? How does he operate with a headset on, in and out of the huddle? What is his cadence like? How does he call out the plays? Remember, he took those plays and signals from the sideline in college. It's much different at this level. The complexity is much greater at the NFL level. So they'll be looking to see those types of progressions. He could be the day one starter. If he certainly outperforms Nick Foles and the starter that currently stands in Andy Dalton, but the plan is in place for a reason, and protection is a big part of it.
I've got a tale on Dales I would like to share that is one of the best stories I can tell.
Yes, dish it out.
This is probably 2012, 2013. I don't know. The Bengals are playing the Colts in a playoff game. Stacey's working for NFL Network. I'm working for Fox Sports. 2 minutes left. Reporters can start going onto the field to start interviewing the players from the winning team. But it's a playoff game, and the security guard says, no, let me see your credential. I didn't have my credential. Stacey goes right on the field. Without knowing me at all, Stacey Dales points to me and goes to the security guard and says, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Let him back on. He's okay. He's with us. And she was the competition. So, Stacey, I've always appreciated you, a great teammate, even before we even knew each other. I'll never forget that moment, and I think that kind of personifies who you are as a colleague and as a teammate.
Thank you so much. I remember that. I was like, this Schrags guy is kind of like, I kind of like this guy, right? I
went New York on the security guard first. Yeah, I went New York on the security guard first.
Sounds like Schrags standing out of One Oak, standing outside of One Oak trying to get in.
I'm with her. Speaking of someone now who might be on the outside looking in, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what's going on. You cover the Packers so closely, and we don't need any big build up to the question. What do you got on Rodgers? What do you make of it?
Well, guys, let me pull out my crystal ball here. I'm looking into my crystal ball. I'm looking, oh, nope, got nothing for you there. Don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Had to do that because, listen, we haven't heard from him. And we may next week. We'll see when he talks with Kenny Mayne. But I am disappointed. I've covered this team so graciously and humbly over the years. I love the Packers franchise. Sorry, Bears fans. They do so many things the right way. I'm disappointed for both sides that this leaked. And, you know, when I consider this locker room, and we couldn't be in the locker room last year. This was a tight locker room. Maybe the tightest that I covered in the league nationwide last season. And I think it was the difference between what they did outside of his MVP performance. Do I think maybe we all take Aaron Rodgers for granted a little bit? Yeah, I do. And so if you're Aaron Rodgers 16 years later and there's no long-term plan in place when you are the most valuable player of the National Football League, I think maybe you feel a little taken for granted. That's just me, you know, trying to jump into his head. I also think you've got a pretty damn good roster in place if you're the Packers, and they've added some pieces now defensively. I see him being a Green Bay Packer. I can't get past it. My crystal ball, that's the only little thing that comes to sort of my body in terms of flutters. I think he comes back to Green Bay. I hope it works out that he does, but they are in major reparations in terms of this locker room if he does come back and they make it work and fix it.
Stales, let's see what that crystal ball has to say about the team in Motown right now, the Detroit Lions. Obviously, a lot of new energy with Dan Campbell, with Spielman. You know, they're bringing in Barry Sanders, apparently. But I feel like we've seen this movie before. The Detroit Lions are pressing the reset button. We've got Lions out of practice. We've got Dan Campbell, the sound quote machine. Why is this going to feel different for Lions fans?
Well, it's going to feel different because this is a complete 180. I mean, I talked to a couple of my buddies in Detroit, guys. There's so many great writers there, beat guys, you know, Tim Twentyman, and it's just so many. Chris Burke, I mean, Jen Hammond, the list goes on. What a great pool of media folks. This culture shift is real in Detroit. I want to, for one day, I want to lift weights with Dan Campbell or get in a weight room with him and just do something. And then I just want to go, I don't like beer, but I want to go drink. Yeah, I just want to go work out with him. And then I want to go, I don't like beer, but I want to go drink beers with Dan Campbell, okay? Everything about his energy, the way he believes in his staff, Sheila Ford Hamp is completely engaged. So ownership is like on the money, let's get this thing down. They have a culture task force in place. You know, talking to a couple of my buddies yesterday, they've actually gone through the entire staff. I'm not just talking about the football operations and the football staff. They have done an overhaul of this entire institution. Credit Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell for shifting the energy, and it's open access media. And I love it in Detroit.
Great.
You love it in Detroit. The words of Stacey Dales, tales from Dales and on Dales from